What is up, Stick Mobility Instagram? How are you guys doing? It's Coach Jesse Grund here, coming to you from Orlando, Florida. We're gonna rock through this stick mobility class today. So if you have been with me for the last couple of weeks, you will know that we are working with the suspension trainer and we are working with the sticks this month. So really excited to continue that progress. As we've been doing from the other previous weeks that we've been doing this before, we will do a Q&A session at the very end. During that Q&A session, we'll go over anything that you want to ask, questions literally about anything in regards to sticks, suspension training in general, any way that I can help make your experience better using these two modalities. Now, just to review, today we are going to need stick bundle. So just one long and a short is what you're going to need today as we're going through this. Additionally, we're going to need a suspension trainer. Now, there are many different kinds of suspension trainer out there. I'm going to be working with a TRX suspension trainer. Most of these exercises will also work with a dual suspension anchor, so something like the TRX Duo trainer, a set of rings, jungle gym. Primarily, we're going to be working with a single anchor point today. So if that kind of helps gives you an idea of exactly what we're going to be doing. So we will start, if you've worked with me before, we will start with the first thing that I always start with, which is going to be our joint articulations. And then from those joint articulations, we'll get into a little bit of stretching. We're going to add a little breath work today to start out with. And then we're going to start incorporating some different rotational movements that we can do, combining stick and suspension trainer together. Review a little bit of what we did last week. And then we're going to finally build to our crescendo, because this is my last class with you guys for a couple of months. So it's my last class of the month, and then another coach will be taking over next month. We will be building specifically into one of my favorite exercises, which is combining the suspension trainer and the stick in a lunge and actually adding some different intensity and different positions for that. So really excited about that. Again, if you have any questions, if everybody can hear me, can I get a thumbs up or a wave or a yes, Jesse, shut up, I don't want to hear you anymore. Whatever works for you. Just can I get some idea that everyone can hear me? Cool. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Happy faces, hearts. There we go. I like it. Thank you, HZ712. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to start with your long stick. We're going to start with our joint articulations. So we're going to start specifically with the neck. So we're going to be pushing down on the stick. Abs nice and tight, so draw that core in. Pushing down, and we're going to start with our neck articulation. So we've got this about a nice 30% push. This is grounding myself. If you can't really see my feet, which I know you can't because of my camera angle, I am barefoot right now, so try and be as connected to the ground as you can. So we're pushing down, driving in. We're going to start with the neck. We're going to just get 2 revolutions in each direction. One all the way around, second all the way around. Beautiful. On the switch. One all the way around. And second all the way around. If you don't know, moving your joints is incredibly important. They are the filters at which your body moves and understands how to move. All right, we're going to do your scapula next. That's the area on the back of my shoulder blade. So I got a fist with my right hand. I'm pushing down with my left side. I'm going to do my scapula. Peel forward, elevate up, push back, drive down. Forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. Other direction. All the way around. And we're just trying to get that stuff to start moving a little bit better. Now, fun thing, we can actually add a little load to this just by taking the stick, our small stick. So pushing down with the big stick, small stick, working forward, up. It's just a little, it's not a lot, but I'll feel it. And one more, another direction. Any load to these smaller muscles, especially right around some of the stabilizer muscles, you're going to feel, even if it's light as just one of our 4-foot sticks. Right, pushing down, we're going to work that left side. Here we go. Scapula forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, and then other way. Back up, forward, down, back up, forward, down. Good, and let's add the stick just to add a little bit extra emphasis on that scap. So forward, up, back, down, forward, up, back, down, then reverse it all the way around. Give me 2. Good job. Good. Now we're going to go to your shoulder next. Most mobile joint in your body, but also because of its mobility, also at least stable, so we want to make sure it maintains all of its mobility. So we're pushing down the stick with the left hand. We're going to start with that right hand, up and around, big reach, roll it in, reach it back. Other direction. All the way around, and back down. 2 more. Give that shoulder a little extra love, it needs it. Pushing down 30% to the opposite stick, 1 more time. I'm telling you, sticks add so much just to your basic mobility game. Okay, just adding a little radiation turns this from a just joint exercise to now all of a sudden that joint's moving and the whole body is creating lots of tension. So pushing down right side, left arm, let's go through the shoulder cars. Up, around, back and down, opposite direction. Shoulder cars, CAR stands for controlled articular rotation. We've done joint circles before, you probably have, but most joint circles are like this. Hey, look at me, I'm doing a circle. Lots of circles, right? No. What we want to do is we want to be able to control just my shoulder joint. So it comes across, it comes up, it turns in, it reaches back, and I don't move my whole body to end up doing that. Okay? All right, let's go to your hip next. So we're going to do a single point like we've been working on for the last couple of weeks to work on the hip. So I'm going to cross my right foot over my left, start to bring that right foot up towards my face, bring it out to the side, internally rotate it, wrap it around, and then come out and around and down the other side. 2 more. Up, out, around and down, around, up, in and down. 1 more. Up, out, around and down, out, around, in and down. Good, let's go to the other side, same thing. Pushing, left foot across the right, up towards the face, out, around and down, out, around the other way, in and down. 2 more. Up, out, around and down, around, in and down. Last one. Up, out, around and down, around, in and down. Good. All right, we're going to go to the ground to do knees and ankles today, and that'll actually take us into a little bit of stretching that we're going to do on the ground today using our small stick. So grab your small stick. I've got a 4-footer here. We're going to do the ankle first, then we're actually going to do the knee. We're going to prop the knee up with the small stick to go ahead and do it. This is so much more comfortable than using a dowel or a PVC pipe. Just trust me, because I can actually put some irradiation into both positions, which is awesome. So first things first, let's do the ankle. So pick it up and just give me the ankle. Good circles all the way around. 2 one way, 2 the other way. Good. Now take your 4-foot stick, put it right underneath the knee and sit up nice, tall, strong, and straight. Now if you don't know, your knee rotates. If you can't see the rotation occurring in my knee right now, looks like my foot's moving, but in actuality what's moving is right where my knee inserts. So we're going to turn it out, and then we're going to extend it as much as we can. And I'm holding it up with the stick. So I'll show you this from the side. Out, extend, flex, in, extend, flex, out, extend, flex, in, extend, flex. You may feel that hamstring stretching as you do that. That's totally okay. That's something that's supposed to be happening. Let's go to the other side. So let's get the ankle first. 2 in each direction. 1, 2, and then 2 the other way. 1 and 2. Good. Now let's prop it up. Pull it in. Remember, we're trying to get the knee to move. So out, extend and flex. In, extend and flex. Out, extend and flex. In, extend and flex. Nice job. Good. Let's go into a 90-90 position with our small stick. So if you're not familiar with 90-90, front leg's at a 90-degree angle, back leg's at a 90-degree angle. Okay. From here, we're going to work with the small stick, and we're going to do some upper body stretching while sitting in 90-90 position. So we're checking off a bunch of different boxes here as we go through this. So lightly pull apart on the stick, reach back as far as you can, and then push it together as you drive back forward. 90-90 stick dislocations. We're just working here for a minute. Back and forth. Woo. Back and forth. A couple more. Back and forth. 1 more. Back and forth. Good. And now you should feel like that your right hip is very internally rotated right now, so it's turned in. Mine's a little tighter today, so I can actually feel it's kind of trying to sit out a little bit, so I'm going to work on kind of drive that hip in, trying to keep my hips as parallel as I possibly can as I'm working on this. This is 90-90, position that you need to get familiar with. If it's not one that you can get into, or to get into it, our hips are supposed to be here. If you ever watched a toddler, they live in 90-90 position. They'll play with Legos, do lots of things. We lose it over time. All right, 90-90 other way. So right leg forward, left leg back. And we're gonna work those stick dislocations again. So the reason I'm not going all the way back is because I'm actually creating a little bit of a radiation into the stick. I'm gently pulling apart on it, about 10-20%. So I'm getting more activity in my shoulders, I'm getting more activity in my chest. It's not a passive stretch, and I'm controlling both the back and the forward as I go through this. And you can tell this side a little bit better. It's got a little bit more rotation to it, which is something that I want to be able to have. It's just a little bit more rotation. This sits down a little bit more, which tells me, it's feedback to me, hey, I need to work on rotation in my right hip. That's fine. It's something I can definitely work on. Good. Staying on the ground, half kneeling. Let's take your long stick. Go right knee down, half kneeling position. And then I want a nice long reach. Nice little snake reach with the long stick. Wrap the wrist around and give me a little push. You see how my stick is starting to bend? It's because I'm turning all of this stuff on as I'm doing this. And then from here, I'm going to try and rotate my chest back, reach my arm back. And I'm getting into all of that T-spine stuff as I'm going through this. So reach, rotate. Oh. 2 more. Reach, rotate. 1 more time. Reach and rotate. Get into all that good T-spine stuff before we start moving. T-spine is supposed to be another one of those mobile entities on the posterior chain, and if it's not mobile, hips aren't mobile, that low back suddenly has to do way too much. Left arm's up now. Right arm reach forward, give a little push, about 20% into the sticks. Reach and rotate, that's 1. Reach and rotate, that's 2. Reach, rotate, that's 3. 1 more time. Reach and rotate. Good job. All right. Last, we're going to work into that spine a little bit. It's the only thing that we haven't really done so far is some spine work. We're going to do our spine work from a tall kneeling position today. So we just did thoracic spine, which is great. It rotates, but we want to get the whole thing to start moving around. And we're going to go to the stick to do this. And we've done this standing before. We're going to do this from a tall kneeling position. So, collapsed kneeling, because we're going to localize this very high as we do this. By sitting into my heels here, I'm going to kind of take my lumbar spine out of it and just work on everything else. So forward, rotate, lean, extend, win the limbo contest around, rotate and forward, then switch directions. Around and back. Woo. So you notice I'm trying to articulate my whole spine, except I'm blocking my lumbar spine as I do this. The stick helps me kind of see how far I can get in each position. It's a feedback mechanism for me to show me, hey, wow, I'm getting almost all the way around to my right side. See how far the stick's getting around? And then when I go to my left side, it's kind of stuck. I try and get it over so it's parallel with my body, and I can't. So that gives me a little way for me to start working on that. Around, back, oof. Last one, around, and back, and shake it out. Good. All right, we've done our joint articulations. We're now going to start working into some of our work with the stick and straps together. Now this week, calling audible, we're not actually going to go through any of the stuff we went through the last couple weeks. Just 1 or 2 exercises. However, you can go back and look at some of the other videos that we have, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. There's a lot of stuff there where I showed you the difference between doing the movement with just a suspension trainer and then doing the movement with the stick and the suspension trainer at the same time. So if you get a chance, go back, check that out. We're going to be working almost exclusively with stick and suspension trainer simultaneously. So that's going to be a really important aspect to what we're doing today. So let's get on the suspension trainer. So I just happen to have one set up right in front of you, which is awesome. So real quick, parts of the suspension trainer you may hear me shout out. These are your handles. These are your foot cradles if you have a TRX. This is your anchor point. I may give you some cues how to put yourself in regards to the anchor point. So I may say, hey, you're standing facing the anchor point. Hey, you're standing side facing the anchor point, left side, right side, facing away. Okay, there's a bunch of different ways that we can do it. Okay, so we're going to start standing facing the anchor point. We're going to take our small stick and we're going to put it right inside those foot cradles. Good. Now, one of the main things when we're working with the suspension trainer is this thing's a feedback loop, guys. What I mean by that is the intention I put into the strap is going to then work into wherever it's anchored and then work back into me. So it's a constant loop of feedback that I'm going to get. So use that loop to your advantage. At no point while you're doing this should these straps be nice and loose or your body not actually be tight and you be pulling on these straps to create tension. It's critical that you create as much tension as possible while you're doing this. Okay? So let's just go through some basic stretching using the stick to our advantage with the straps. So grab the stick. We're standing facing the anchor point. Straps are at mid-calf. I'm going to grab the stick, dial my shoulders down and back, and start working into just the hinge pattern itself. So as far forward as I can get, and then pull as far back up as I can get. So nice and easy. We're just starting to open up those hamstrings, starting to open up that whole back line, that whole posterior chain. Let's get 3 more. Oof. Back up. Let's get 2 more. Very nice of you. Let's get 1 more time. Nice, good. Now let's add some different intention to that than we just did. So we were just literally just doing a little hinging, taking the stick, using that pendulum principle to help kind of pull us forward and drive us out. Now I want you to add some tension in between your feet. So drive your feet into the ground. Try to push your feet apart like you're trying to find the opposite walls. Ground yourself, squeeze your core. Now try and break the stick. So now I'm trying to break the stick away from me. You see that bend? And now I'm going to keep driving my feet to the opposite walls and keep trying to break the stick at the same time. Now when I come up, I'm going to try and drive my feet together and try and break the stick towards me. That should feel different almost immediately. Let's do it again. Break it away. Drive it to the opposite walls. Good. Break it in towards you. Drive the feet together as you rise up. So we're using the stick for increase that feedback loop. Rep 3 of 10. Drive it away. Drive the feet to the opposite walls. Go. Drive it towards you. Drive your feet in towards each other. Again. Drive the stick away. Try to break it. Drive the feet to the opposite walls. Drive it towards you, drive your feet towards each other. 4 more. Break, drive. Break towards you, drive in. 4 more. Break, drive. Break towards you, drive in. 3 more. Break, drive. Break towards you, drive in. 2 more. Break, drive. Break towards you, drive in. 1 more time. Break, drive. And break towards you, drive in. Ooh. You should feel that kind of turned everything on as you were doing it, as opposed to just holding the suspension trainer, hinging and rising, and just kind of going through the motions of the pattern. Instead, we want to create as much tension in that pattern as we can. Now let's go wide-legged hinge. Just got a nice wide foot base here. Still got my forefoot stick in my foot cradles, and I'm facing my anchor point. Same thing, but now what we're going to do is, as we hinge forward, call this a nice little eccentric, as we hinge forward, we're going to squeeze the feet together. So I'm trying to drive the ground in as I do that. On the stick itself, I'm going to pull apart. So I'm pulling apart and driving together. And then I'm going to push together on the stick and drive my feet apart as I come up. So we got opposite push and pulls going on in the upper and lower body as we're doing this. So let's go through this together. Nice wide feet. Try to squeeze the ground together between the feet. Pull apart on the stick, hinge. Push the stick together, drive the feet to the opposite walls, rise. Woo! Pull the stick apart, squeeze together, hinge. Push the stick together, drive the feet apart, rise. Pull the stick apart, push the feet together, hinge. Push the stick together, drive the feet apart, rise. Let's get two more. Pull apart, drive together, hinge. Push together, drive apart, rise. Let's get one more. Pull apart, push together, hinge. Push together, drive apart, and rise. You should feel that hip stuff is now starting to open up a little bit more on command, which is a good place for us to be. Now, we're going to use the stick. Going to help us actually create a little bit more tension and intention into our lateral lunges. So, we know what a lateral lunge looks like. We do it in slap shot. We do it in some other things. We're going to do lateral lunges while using the stick at the same time. So, pull apart on the stick. Engage those hips by driving them to the opposite walls. And then I'm going to start to work into my lateral lunge to the right. Eventually my elbows are going to come underneath me, but I'm still trying to pull apart on the stick, and I'm gaining as much depth as I can. And then I'm going to drive out of that hip to rise back up. This is going to add a lot of extra intention into that lateral lunge. I'm going to move you guys back just a little bit so you can see that bottom position that I'm in. Perfect. So here we go. So we got the forefoot stick in our hand. We're in the foot cradles at the same time. From here, pull apart on the stick. Start into a lateral lunge to your right. Deep. Deep. As you start to get deeper, let the elbows rise, roll in front of you. See how deep you can actually get here. From here, push down into the stick and together and push through the foot to rise up. Working a little grip, using the stick to help us get a little bit deeper. Let's go left, pull apart, drive left. Pushing the feet apart. Finding more in that left hip. Here, push together, drive up. Woo! One on each side. Let's go. Pull apart, load right. Deep right. Deep, 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 deep. Keep pulling apart as you load into that right hip. Push it together to rise up out of it. Push it out of that leg. Left side. Pull apart. Drive left. Push those feet apart. Irradiate in between. Deep into that left side. Push the stick together to rise back out. Two more to each side here, and then we're going to make it a little harder. Pull apart. Load right. Keep loading. Keep loading. Get as much as you can in that right leg. Pull apart on that stick. Now push together. Push out of that leg. Left side. Pull. Drive in. Load it. Load it. Load it. Load it. Load it. Get deep in there. Lengthen that right adductor stuff. Push together. Rise back out. One more each side. Pull apart. Get in that right hip. Get in that right hip. Elbows come in front of you. Should know what we're gonna do out of this. Yes, my heel is down, if anybody's wondering. Push together to rise back up. Last one, pull apart. Get in there. Let those elbows roll down. And push together, rise back up. Good, now, let's add a little extra flavor to that we may not be able to add if we were just using the suspension trainer by itself. Everyone should feel that we're getting those elbows underneath us, stacking that scap back at the bottom. And we're gonna add some overhead extension as we rise up. So this is our stick TRX overhead lateral lunge. With lots of tension. Remember, we're not losing tension on these straps as we do this. So arms down in front. Pulling apart on the stick. Drive into your right hip. Let those elbows roll in. Press your arms up overhead. And rise up. Woo! Take you for a ride there. Let's go left side. Pull apart. Load into the left hip. Rotate underneath. Push the stick together. Pull apart. Rise up. That's one to each side. We got 4 more. Overhead press lateral lunge. Stick TRX or stick suspension trainer. Pull it apart. Load right. Everything you got in that right side. Pull apart on that stick. Oh, I got up too soon. And rise up. Woo. Gonna go left. Pull apart. Load that left hip. Elbows come underneath me. Press up. Rise up. Oh, 2 more. 2 more. Pull apart on that stick. Load right. Elbows in front of me. Press up overhead. Rise up. Left side. Pull apart. Load into that left hip. Press overhead. Rise up. Last one. Overhead lateral lunge. Stick TRX combo. Pull apart. Load that right hip. Get into that bottom position. Hang out here with me. See if you've gotten a little deeper, you've gotten a little better as we're going through this. All really important. Be light in the stick, see if you can just hang out here. Also really important. Pull underneath, press up, rise up. Last one. Pull apart, load left. Elbows underneath you. Deep in that left side. Light in the stick, can you do it? Up overhead, and rise up. Nice job. If you are not warm after those, you're not gonna get warm. Whew. So let's work into some of our pulling. We're gonna do a couple of pulling exercises as a warm up and review from the last time. What I want you to do is, if you have an adjustable suspension trainer, go short. And keep your 4-foot stick in. So we're short here. Now, we are going to do some supinated rows. Can you do supinated rows with a traditional suspension trainer? Yes, but you can't get this irradiation between the hands that you can get with the stick. So what we're going to do is, we're going to start standing facing our anchor point. Make sure you got a little bit of the stick and strap in each one. Shoulders down and back. Pull apart here. Feel those biceps turn on. Create a little angle. Extend, roll that scap, push together, rise back up. Pull apart, extend that scap, push together, rise back up. Pull apart, extend that scap, push together, rise back up. Pull apart, extend the arms, extend the scap, push together, rise back up. Pull apart, extend the arms, engage, push together, rise back up. 2 more. Pull apart, extend, push together, rise up. 1 more. Pull apart, extend, push together, and rise back up. If you're not familiar, anytime we are on suspension trainer, we should be engaging the core as much as possible. So what we shouldn't be is at the bottom of a row, I'm going to show you from the side, is at the bottom of a row, our spine shouldn't be like this or like this. We should be straight up and down when we do this. It's the most important thing. Straight up and down at the bottom of the row position. Do not sag. When it comes to suspension training and stick mobility, you get out of this what you put into it. Okay? Now, let's work that single joint. Let's get a bicep curl combining the two. And don't worry, we're going to a good place, I promise. We've got a circuit to do at the end of this. So create a little angle. All the way down to the bottom. Pull the stick apart. Curl to the face. Push it together as you come down. That's one. Pull apart, curl. Push together, extend. 2. 3. Tell me those biceps aren't on. 4. 5. 5 more. 6. 4 more. 7. 3 more. 8. 2 more. 9. 1 more time. And 10. Woo! Shake it out a little bit. If you're like me, take a look. Make sure that bicep is still there. It's still intact. That's a good thing. That's the thing that we want. We're going to go through that one more time. We're going to go through it one more time, and then we're going to start working into some of the rotational work. And then we're going to finish with that lunge. Okay, so really looking forward to seeing how you all do through this today. So still working stick and strap together, combined. And look, if I was doing this, maybe I'd do that row, and I could go right into an overhead squat right afterwards. That wouldn't be a bad idea. There's a lot of ideas for programming that you could do, going from one thing right into another. So let's go back into the row. Supinated grip, grabbing the black part of your stick if you have a short stick, creating some angle, engaging those abs, pull apart as you extend, push together as you rise. 1, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 2, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 3, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 4, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 5, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 6, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 7, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 8, 2 more, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. 9, last one, pull apart, extend, push together, rise. That's 10. We got 30 seconds. 30 seconds, shake it out a little bit. We finish up with that bicep curl, and we're gonna go right to those rotations. If you have any questions about anything, remember, you can ask them at the end. Hopefully we all stay positive and constructive as we're going through this. That's the best possible thing that you can do as we're learning more and more on how to combine these two modalities. Next week, you're gonna have somebody else on Thursday. And next month, you'll have a couple people killing it. Steel mason stick. It's gonna be a good one. Another one of my favorite tools. All right, so we're here. We're pulled in, we're strong. We're gonna get those bicep curls now. Extend, pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. 1, pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 2. I want hard on both ends. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 3. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 4. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 5. 5 more. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 6. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 7. Pull apart, squeeze, push together, extend. That's 8. 2 more. Shoulders out of those ears. Curl, extend. 9. Curl, extend. That's 10. I don't know about you. I want to wear a sleeveless shirt after doing those. Probably shouldn't, according to some of you in the comments section. But that's okay. All right, so we are going to work on some standing rotations. So when we are working a standing rotation with the TRX by itself, let me show you what it's supposed to look like. And we're gonna go through one set together. When we are doing standing rotation, we start standing facing the anchor point. We pull the straps in, we stand up nice, tall, strong, and straight. We sit our hips slightly back, so we unlock the hip. And then we drive the arms across the body, creating tension in the arms at the same time. If I'm going right, my right arm's gonna be on top, and my left arm's on the bottom. And then I come back up, I do the same thing on the other side. I also clear that hip out of the way. So if you notice, as I go right, I'm gonna open up that right hip a little bit. I'm not leaning to the left, I'm just opening it and loading the outside of my left hip. So rotate, reach, and back up. Rotate, reach, and back up. Great way for you to learn how to rotate. If you're a coach, great way for you to figure out how somebody's rotating, where there may be leaks in their rotation. So let's just do 6 of these. So here we go. We're gonna go right first. So right, extend that right leg, open that right hip, load the left hip, push into those straps. Come up, now let's go left. Rotate, reach, push into the straps. That's 1. Going right, going left, that's 2. There's a little hinge here, but we don't want to bend all the way over. Right, left, that's 3. 3 more. Tension in those straps the whole time. Right, rotate with the straps attached to your chest, reach, left, that's 4. 2 more, attach it to the chest, right, whoa, that hand got a little higher. Left, last one, right, and left. Good job. So that's our standing rotation with the TRX. Use it as a great warm-up drill. For some people who are deconditioned, that's all you need when you're teaching rotation. You keep this tight, you teach them to load and rotate at the same time, and then add that reach. But remember, what's today about? Stick and suspension trainer. We can do that with a stick. So if you have a TRX, set it to mid-length. My anchor point's a little higher, I'm gonna be at mid. If you feel like you're gonna get more range, putting it to mid-calf, go for it, okay? So here we go. So we're gonna do the same thing, except we're gonna use the stick, which is gonna connect it just a little bit more. So here we go. Pull apart on the stick, little hinge, rotate right, reach right, pull apart on that stick, push together as you pull back in and come up. That's 1. Pull apart, hinge, rotate, reach, push together, pull apart as you bring it back in. Woo, that's 1 rep. So a little bit of hinge. Rotate and open up to the right side without letting the left knee fall in. Keep tension in the straps as you reach the stick out. Push the stick together, but also drive it away from the anchor point. Pull it back in. Other side, hinge, rotate, reach, push and pull back in. Woo! 3 more. Hinge, open right, tension stays in your suspension trainer, pull apart on the stick as you extend, push the stick together and drive it away at the same time, pull it apart as you pull it back in and back up. Left, rotate, reach, push, pull, back up. 2 more. Hinge, rotate, reach, pull back in and up. Hinge, rotate, reach, pull back in and up. Last one. Hinge, rotate, reach, back up. Last repetition. Hinge, rotate, reach, and back up. Woo! I can tell you unequivocally, if you do that right, you're going to get quite a bit out of those rotational elements. Now, let's finish up with that lunge I promised you. So, really important for you to remember here that earn this progression. This is not a progression that you can come to very easily. We are going to do a TRX suspended lunge with a long stick. We're going to hold the long stick so one whole side is off to the side. So, we got a suspension trainer. We're going to set it up. You're going to put it at mid-calf and single handle mode. So mid-calf, and then make it a single handle. If you're curious, I have videos on how to do all of this stuff. And then we are going to, for me, I'm barefoot, so we're going to make the foot crate a little smaller. Now, we are going to suspend the right foot in the suspension trainer. Now, if this is a struggle for you, just generally speaking, all I want you to do is use the stick as an assist. Down and up. It makes a great assistance tool. However, if you feel froggy, we are going to hold it either at the chest and out to the side, or overhead and out to the side. So now it's got a little bit of sway back and forth. The load is further away from my center of gravity. I'm going to go overhead, and let's work through this. Let's get 6 here. Back and down. Up and forward. That's 1. Reach now towards that side. Tap the ground. And then come back up. That's 2. 4 more. One of my favorite variations here. 3. 3 more. Oh, 2 more. That left glute is not on fire and your core is not on fire, you're not alive. Last one. This is not a circuit trick, guys. This is a way to get deep into that hip and also some anti-rotational elements. Let's finish off on the other side. Oh. Good. Ready to rock? Yes, we are. All right. Last set of the day, guys. So again, you could be here. I'm going to be up here. That's 1. 5 more. 2. Woo! 4 more. Pull apart on that stick. Hands in close. 3. 4. 2 more. I am human after all. 5. Last repetition. Back, in, and up. And that is 6. Woo! That is a challenging combination to finish off with. Do a couple sets of those, you're going to feel that all the way up everything you're trying to work. Whew, guys. That's my 45 minutes. Now, obviously, what are you doing? I was doing a suspended lunge and using the stick to offset my, or make the balance element harder. So more stability. So I was holding it overhead like this and then trying to tap it to the ground at the bottom of the lunge. So really engaging that whole lateral line as I was doing that and the opposite glute pretty hard, hitting that whole anterior oblique sling of musculature. It's a really challenging combination that you could do. Guarantee you, do a set of that each leg, go squat afterwards, everything's gonna fire a little bit better. So this is your Q&A time. Leave this right at the end. If you have any questions that are pertinent to suspension training, stick mobility, mobility in general, programming, what's coming next month, or you can see more of these things, why I like to train barefoot, anything that I can answer, please let me know, and let's try and keep it both professional and pertinent. Thank you, April. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully go back and try it again. Some of those exercises are tougher than they look. I guarantee you, if I had my watch on with all the internal tension I was creating, we're probably right around 350 to 450 calories. Number doesn't really mean anything except that we were working, okay? So we were working. Mobility doesn't have to be an easy thing. So, but thank you for the feedback, April. I appreciate it. I've really enjoyed teaching these classes. I'm looking forward to joining you guys again in July. But if you have any other questions, I am here for that. I'm just a standing dude staring in the camera, offering my 11 years of knowledge and service to help you in your mobility, strength, life journey as best as I can. If you want to, you can go onto our Facebook page, our Instagram Live. You can go into any of that. Perfect. You can go into any of that. And I do a session like that, so April, I want to piggyback on that. I do a session like I just did with you, and then follow it up with some, what I call bioenergetics. So I would work into some power work, and then some strength endurance, and then finish off with some endurance. So this would just be like that first couple of bites, all that tissue's ready. Now let's make that tissue work hard and remember how to do the things that I was doing. I wouldn't typically do anything like this and then go right into strength afterwards, not the volume that I did. I would do this and then grab my battle ropes out, go do some farmer's carries, some marching, use the sand dune stepper, work on the bike. I do that for probably 20, 25 minutes afterwards. You got about a really good hour workout right there where you mobilized, you stabilized, you moved well, and then you can kind of push the envelope right there at the end. Any other questions from anybody? I won't be here next week. I am not sure who's teaching, but the wonderful fearless leaders at Stick Mobility, I'm sure have somebody wonderful picked out for next week. Or if you're watching this in 2025, I hope the last couple of years were awesome. Really, and I hope you've gotten stronger, and I hope you've used some of these and they've benefited you, regardless of who the teacher was, whether it was Debbie or George or myself or Ray or Kelly or any of us. Yes, yeah, it's really great for, you're right, it's really great for training the overhead squat. The overhead squat is something that you do if you're a weightlifter. Stick works really well to prep that, and it should also work as a feedback tool. If you can't do the overhead squat with a stick, and you can't learn how to create tension and irradiation with a stick over your head, then should you really be lifting a barbell over your head? It's a great question. I think I know the answer to that, but I'll leave that up to you. Got about 1 more minute if anybody wants to get any other questions in or feedback. Next month is going to be, drum roll please. That's a terrible drum roll. No, that's bad too. I'm bad at sound effects. Next month is going to be steel mace and stick. Steel mace and stick. If you don't know what a steel mace is, I think Onnit's running a sale right now. You can get some at a bunch of different places, but yeah, steel mace and stick. If you don't have a steel mace and you want to join in on those, start with a 7 or 10 pounder. I do not care how strong you are. It is a completely different animal than what you're used to. I promise. All right, guys, well, that is my time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. You can also private message me if you have any questions, if you have programming questions. Nice. If you have programming questions or anything, you can ask me that too. Any and all of the above. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day, okay?